The Rams game yesterday also taught us a lot about the Seattle Seahawks. See, Thursday night games, because it's a short week, you play Sunday and you play Thursday, so you have a way shorter week to prepare for the game. So because of this, usually it's ugly football. We watch defensive battles. Well, Jared Goff tore up the 49ers. The same defense that killed the Seahawks offense. That's a worry. You know, I said last week, the Seahawks have a serious issue. Their offensive line is really bad and a really big issue. And no one believed me. Well, last night we watched Jared Goff and the Los Angeles Rams play the San Francisco 49ers. And the Rams had no issues with protection. The Rams' offensive line did great. They did fine. They didn't, I don't know how many sacks they give up, but it wasn't very many, and it wasn't a huge deal. The pass rush wasn't an issue. So that's a good comparison. We watched, again, in a game where the offense isn't supposed to be dominant. We're supposed to not have enough time to prepare. We watched the offensive line for the Rams do totally fine against the 49ers. And a week before, the Seahawks, who had way more time to prepare, couldn't do squat against the 49ers. The Seahawks offensive line got torn up by the same 49ers defense that couldn't do anything against the Rams. You know, last week I got a ton of feedback telling me that I was wrong. I shared a video to YouTube talking about how the Seahawks offensive line was a big issue and Seahawks fans should be worried. Here's a response I got. This is one of the comments I got on YouTube. Dude, we've been talking like this for 3 years. This is nothing new. We will still make the playoffs. We have 14 weeks to fix the offensive line. Every year, nothing is new. That right there, that attitude is the problem with the Seattle Seahawks. We take Russell Wilson for granted. We're not dealing with the issues. The offensive line is a huge issue and no one's willing to talk about it. We just write it off. Like, oh, we'll fix it. It'll be fine eventually. It's not fine, and it won't be fine eventually because we have to deal with it. If you have an issue, you have to take care of it. The worst thing is unspoken issues. That's how it ends relationships. You ever have a relationship where if you communicate the issue, your relationship might end, but at least you talked about it, you figured it out. And likely, if you communicate the issues, you'll work through them and get over them and move forward. If you don't deal with an issue, if you wait, this is crazy. If you wait for a long time, they build up. My last girlfriend didn't communicate her issues very well with me. She would hold it up, and it was great. I was like, oh wow, she's so low maintenance. It's awesome. We never have struggles. It's not true. At the end of the relationship, she had like a whole list of things she hated about me. All these things I did wrong, all these issues that she'd never communicated with me. She'd never told me, hey, this is an issue, and this is an issue, and this is an issue. So they blew up, and the relationship failed. It ended horribly because we had all these issues we never dealt with. That's what's going to happen to the Seahawks. I hope you realize that. If the Seahawks don't figure out their offensive line, either Russell Wilson's going to get hurt or something bad is going to happen, and it's all going to blow up because of the offensive line, because of this unresolved issue we refuse to acknowledge. The offensive line in Seattle is a huge issue. We need to deal with it sooner than later, and we need to stop acting like, oh, this happens every year. It does happen every year, and that's a problem. We should not ignore the offensive line issues in Seattle any longer. It's affecting Russell Wilson's career. He's going to take way more hits than he needs to, and it's going to shorten his career. I'm a Seahawks fan. You know, why is no one in the Seahawks fan base able to accept the fact that the offensive line is a real issue we need to deal with? I want more from the Seahawks. I love the Seahawks. That's why I'm criticizing them. That's why I'm saying, hey, I want us to do well, so we better take care of this issue. The Seattle Seahawks offensive line is a huge issue that no one is willing to address.